What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Gospel of John series. Today we're going to be going over chapter 9. If you guys haven't seen the earlier episodes of this podcast, I know it's been about 4 weeks since I put one out, but go and check those out. I go through chapters 1 through 8 of the Gospel of John, and today we're doing 9. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. A man born blind receives sight. Chapter 9. Now as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had said these things, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And he said to him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. Therefore the neighbors and those who previously had seen that he was blind said, Is not this he who sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. He said, I am he. Therefore they said to him, How were your eyes opened? He answered and said, A man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and I received sight. Then they said to him, Where is he? He said, I don't know. Jesus coming in here and doing a beautiful thing for somebody who was blind. It's very interesting the way that he chose to heal this guy, spit in the ground, put clay into his eyes. It's an interesting way to give somebody a miracle, but beautiful nonetheless. And another important point to point out here is that people were wondering why he was blind. They thought that his parents had sinned or somebody had sinned, which gave him blindness. And Jesus is saying here, no, it's actually he's made blind so that you may see the glory of God, so you may see me heal him. And we'll get into this as it gets into the prophecy of when Jesus comes, that he may make the blind see again. So, going into verse 13, the Pharisees excommunicate the healed man. By the way, I don't know if I've clarified this, but I am reading from the New King James Version, so if my translation looks different, that is, and yours looks different than mine, that's why. So, might be a few differences, but I am reading from the New King James Version. They brought him who formerly was blind to the Pharisees. Now it was a Sabbath when Jesus made the clay and opened his eyes. Then the Pharisees also asked him again how he had received his sight. He said to them, He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and I see. Therefore some of the Pharisees said, This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath. Others said, How can a man who is a sinner do such signs? And there was a division among them. They said to the blind man again, What do you say about him, because he opened your eyes? He said, He is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight, until they called the parents of him who had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How then does he now see? His parents answered them and said, We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind, but by what means he now sees we do not know. He is of age, ask him, he will speak for himself. His parents said those things because they feared the Jews, for the Jews had agreed already that if anyone confessed that he was Christ, he would be put out of the synagogue. Therefore his parents said, He is of age, ask him. So they again called the man who was blind and said to him, Give God the glory. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, Whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I know, that though I was blind, now I see. Then they said to him again, What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? He answered them, I told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples? Then they reviled him and said, You are his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spoke to Moses. As for this fellow, we do not know where he is from. The man answered and said to them, Why, this is a marvelous thing that you do not know where he is from, yet he has opened my eyes. Now we know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, he hears him. Since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. They answered and said to him, You were completely born in sins, and you are teaching us? And they cast him out. So we're seeing, the Pharisees are are mad here. They're not even marveled about the fact that the Pharisees are not even marveled about the fact that he can see again. They're just angry about why somebody's able to do something that they cannot, or that what is happening here? Is it witchcraft? They're like trying to point fingers at what is going on here, and they cannot believe that the Messiah is on earth. They are blocking themselves from being able to see something. The last part of this really stuck out to me starting in verse 34, when it says, they answered and said to him, you were completely born in sins, and you are teaching us, and they cast him out. It's like their arrogance and their pride is just blocking them from being able to see what has happened to this man who was born blind. And Jesus clarified earlier that he wasn't made blind because of sin. He was made blind because God was going to bring glory to him so that people could see the glory of God. It's really interesting. So going and continuing on verse 35, the last passage of chapter 9, true vision and true blindness. Jesus heard that they had cast him out, and when he had found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of God? He answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? And Jesus said to him, you have both seen him, and it is he who is talking with you. Then he said, Lord, I believe, and he worshipped him. And Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be blind. Then some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, are we blind also? Jesus said to them, if you were blind, you would have no sin, but now you say, we see, therefore your sin remains. Isn't this funny here? On a worldly standard, you'd be like, the blind man can't see, and the Pharisees can see because they have the knowledge, and they've been learning about this their entire lives, and they can see, they know who God is. And Jesus is like, I'm flipping that. Really interesting. But yeah, that is a reading of chapter 9 of the Gospel of John. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, leave your comments down below on how you felt my commentary was. Just a little bit light this time. It's very straightforward. Oh, I'm so sorry. Last thing I wanted to say here. Jesus says in verse 39, for judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be blind. He's saying here, like, this is a part of the prophecy of Jesus coming, that he makes the blind see. And so this is another thing that the Pharisees are just, it's not clicking in their heads. The Justin Bieber thing it's not clocking to them, bro, that Jesus is making people see again, is making people see. The blind can see. And this is a prophecy of the Messiah to come. And the Pharisees are not seeing this. And so we're just seeing more of the arrogance and the pride and the Pharisees in this. So, like I said, if you guys enjoyed this chapter, please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see your guys' feedback, trying to grow a community. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.